Welcome to Story Focus. Here, stories come to life. We journey through captivating tales together. Whether you're here to relax, learn, or escape into another world, there's a story waiting for you. Let's dive in.
Finally, let us look at Aristotle's views on woman. This was unfortunately not as uplifting as Plato's. Aristotle was more inclined to believe that women were incomplete in some way. A woman was an unfinished man. In reproduction, woman is passive and receptive, while man is active and productive. For the child inherits only the male characteristic. Claimed Aristotle, he believed that all the child's characteristics lay complete in the male's parent. The woman was the soil, receiving and bringing forth the seed, whilst the man was the sower. Or in Aristotelian language, the man provides the form and the woman contributes the substance. It is of course both astonishing and highly regrettable that an otherwise so intelligent man would be so wrong about the relationship of the sexes. But it demonstrates two things. First, that Aristotle could not have had much practical experience regarding the lives of women and children. And second, it shows that orangutans can go when men are allowed to reign supreme in the fields of philosophy and science. Aristotle's erroneous view of the sex was doubly harmful because it was his rather than Plato that had held sway throughout the Middle Ages. The Church has inherited a view of woman that is entirely without foundation in the Bible. Jesus was certainly no woman hater. I'll say no more, but you will be hearing from me again. When Sophie had read the chapter on Aristotle's 1.5 times, he returned it to the brown envelope and remained sitting, staring into space. She suddenly became aware of the mess surrounding her. Books and ring binders lay scattered on the floor. Socks and sweaters, tights and jeans hung half out of the closet. On the chair in front of the writing desk was a huge pile of dirty laundry. Sophie had an irresistible desire to clear up. The first thing she did was to pull all the clothes out of the closet and onto the floor. It was necessary to start all over. Then she began folding her things very neatly and stacking them all tidily on the shelf. The closet had 7 shelves. One was for underwear, one for socks and ties, and one for jeans. She gradually filled out its shelf. She never had any question but where to put anything. Dirty laundry went into a plastic bag she found on the bottom shelf. One thing, she did have trouble with a white knee-length stocking. The problem was that the other one of the pair was missing. What's more, it had never been Sophie. She examined it carefully. There was nothing to identify the owner, but Sophie had a strong suspicion about who the owner was. She threw it out onto the top shelf to join the Lego, the video cassette, and the red silk scarf. Sophie turned her attention to the floor. She sorted books, ring binders, magazines, and posters, exactly as the philosophy teacher I described in the chapter on Aristotle. When she had done that, she made her bed and got started on her writing desk. The last thing she did was to gather all the pages on Aristotle into a neat pile. She fished out an empty ring binder and a hole punch, made holes in the page, and clipped them into the ring binder. This also went on to the top shelf. Later on in the day, she would have to bring in the cookie tin from the den. From now on, things would be kept neat, and she didn't only mean in her room. After reading Aristotle, she realized it was just as important to keep her ideas orderly. She had reserved the top shelf of the closet especially for that kind of thing. It was the only place in the room that she did not yet have complete control over. There had been no sign of life from her mother for over 2 hours. Sophie went downstairs. Before she woke her mother up, she decided to feed her pets. She bent over the goldfish bowl in the kitchen. One of the fishes was black, one orange, and one red and white. This was why she called them blackjack, goldhawk, and red riding hood. As she sprinkled fish food into the water, she said, "You belong to nature, living creatures. You can absorb nourishment. You can grow and reproduce yourself. More specifically, you belong to the animal kingdom. So you can move around and look out at the world. To be precise, you are fish, and you breathe through your gills and can swim back and forth in the waters of life." Sophie put the lid back on the fish food jar. She was quiet, satisfied with the way she had placed the goldfish in nature's scale, and she was especially pleased with the expressions, the waters of life. So now it was the badger's turn. Sophie poured a little bird seed in their feeding cup and said, "Dear Smith and Smooth, you have become dear little badgers because you grew out of dear little badger eggs, and because these eggs had the form of being badgers. Luckily, you didn't grow into squatting parents." Sophie then went into the large bedroom where the sluggish tortoise lay in the big box. Every now and then, when her mother saw, she yelled that she would kill it one day, but so far it had been an empty threat. Sophie took a little slip from a large jam jar and laid it in the box. "Dear Govinda," she said, "you are not one of the speediest animals, but you certainly are able to sense a tiny fraction of the great big world we live in. You'll have to content yourself with the fact that you are not the only one who can exceed your own limits." Shurikan was probably out catching mice. That was a cat nature, after all. Sophie crossed the living room toward her mother's bedroom. A vase of daffodils stood on the coffee table. It was as if the yellow blooms bowed respectfully as Sophie went by. She stopped it for a moment and let her fingers gently brush their smooth heads. "You belong to the living part of nature too," she said. "Actually, you are quite privileged compared to the phase you are in, but unfortunately, you are not able to appreciate it." Sophie tiptoed into her mother's bedroom. Although her mother was in a deep sleep, Sophie laid a hand on her forehead. "You are one of the luckiest ones," she said, "because you are not only alive like the lilies of the field, and you are not only the living creature like Shere Khan or Govinda. You are a human." and therefore have the rare capacity of thought. What on earth are you talking about, Sophie? Her mother had woken up more quickly than usual. I was just saying that you look like a lazy tortoise. I can otherwise inform you that I have tidied up my room with philosophic thoroughness. Her mother lifted her head. I'll be right there, she said. Will you put the coffee on? Sophie did as she was asked, and they were soon sitting in the kitchen over coffee, juice, and chocolate. Suddenly Sophie said, have you ever wondered why we are alive, Mom? Oh, not again. Yes, because now I know the answer. People live on this planet so that someone can go around giving names to everything. Is that right? I never thought of that. Then you have a big problem, because a human is a thinking animal. If you don't think, you are not really a human. Sophie, imagine if there were only vegetable and animals, then there wouldn't have been anybody to tell the difference between cat and dog, or lily and gooseberry. Vegetable and animals are living too, but we are the only creatures that can categorize nature into different groups and classes. You are the most cooler girl I have ever had, said her mother. I should hope so, said Sophie. Everybody's more or less peculiar. I am a person, so I am more or less peculiar. You have only one girl, so I am the most peculiar. What I mean was that you scared the living daylight out of me with all the new talk. You were easily scared then. Later, the afternoon Sophie went back to the den. She managed to smuggle the big cookies tin up to her room without her mother noticing. First, she put all the pages in the right order. Then she punched holes in them and put them in the ring binder before the chapter on Aristotle. Finally, she numbered each page in the top right-hand corner. There were in all over 50. Sophie was in the process of compiling her own book on philosophy. It was not by her, but written especially for her. She had no time to do her homework for Monday. They were probably going to have a test in religious knowledge, but the teacher always said we value personal commitment and value judgment. Sophie felt she was beginning to have a certain basis for both.